Sup, bitch? So, I can't be too loud because my mom is still sleeping right now. It's like 7 in the morning. But I may have another idea. So, you can see there's already like I don't know the English word, like a summarization of a longer word here. So, basically, I have an idea for a Celestials video game, and it would be called Celestials Eden of Elements. So this is a cool one. So as you can see, I just used some of my characters here for the portrayal of like the game because I'll explain it in a second. That's kind of what it's all about. So what would Celestials Eden of Elements, aka C.E.E. be? I mean CE in for short. So a lot of you were well, I don't have that many viewers yet. Some of you are probably wondering why I have so many side characters made in my previous videos for Celestials. Because I said like if it were an actual show that would exist. Well, if you think about it, if Celestials was an actual show, then there also wouldn't be a need for so many side characters because it would focus on the main cast, and the main cast would be the main character would be Inferno with along with some of his friends like Frost Knight, Air Force, and another his best friend. I actually haven't made a video on yet. And stuff. So it would mostly focus on Inferno and his friends, and there are a lot more actually. And so the reason for all the side characters is for this video game idea I had, and I just really like making characters in general. So Celestials Eden of Elements, aka CE, would be a sort of like an online multiplayer fighting game almost. It's a bit hard to explain, but so the way this would work is basically it's kind of like you would play in teams of 5. You would each pick a character from the roster of all the characters in Celestials, and also all the side characters. By the way, also help with background characters and world building. Instead of having like generic characters, now I have a bunch of cool designs I can use. But so these would all become like playable characters, or at least most of them, and you would be able to play in teams of 5, pick a character each with their element and stuff, and each element would have their corresponding buffs. For example, well, I'm just making this up right now, but maybe like a water character could like go under the sea and like go under the sea level and go do stuff there. Maybe like an air character could float around the air and go in like islands high up in the sky on the map, and maybe like nature characters could maybe like go in a jungle and like regenerate there and like maybe spawn new little like plant allies to help them fight or something. And so you'd work in teams of 5, and maybe I don't have this definitely worked out yet, but maybe there could be like different game modes as well. Maybe one where you play per team as an element, so it's like a full team of 5 fire characters or something. And so you would spawn in on a map, kind of like like Fortnite, but no, not really like Fortnite. It wouldn't be so childish. So you would probably, I don't think you would actually like jump out of some kind of plane. You would probably just spawn in on the map, and kind of like in how most games, or kind of like in Among Us, you would have like your main map. Celestials, or yeah, CEE, Eden of Elements, would also have multiple maps, but the main map would be like the first one, and it would be the most important one. So maybe if this was an actual game, there would be some kind of like buffer that made it that you have a higher chance to play on that map than any of the other ones. And so the main map would be kind of like the terrain you see here in the background, because Celestials is set in like rural Belgium, but kind of in like a bit of a fantasy world. So it would probably look a bit like this, but like the mountains more in the distance. So a lot of like flat land, like well, not really flat, but you know what I mean. Like a lot of like grass plains and with little like hills and trees, and there would be like villages, and like to make the map interesting. Of course, it wouldn't be boring. There would be like interactable things everywhere. There would be like structures, cool objects and treasures you could find, tools you could find to help you in the match. And to make it even more interesting, like I said, there would be like a lot of maybe there would like secret tunnels, all kinds of benefits per element and stuff. So you can kind of imagine, like I said, like how an air character could maybe like float up to an island up in the sky that's like floating there. You can imagine like there would be a lot of like it may sound boring now, but there would be a lot of cool interactable things, and around the map there would maybe be like little tinier islands with like all the elements to kind of let maybe every team would to like spawn in on one elemental island or something, but that's just an idea for now. This is all just kind of conceptual. And so basically every character you'd pick would have their own set of like attacks, and if you remember my video where I discussed how to improve your character designs, the part 2, then you remember that I mentioned how it's important that a character needs direction. You need to know what is this character's specialty. So for example, Inferno's specialty is that he's basically like the best swordsman, and he slices with a sword really fast, and also his sword is on fire. So he's like the world's fastest swordsman basically, and like the best one. Then Air Force, for example, his specialty is that he can wait, how do you explain this? Like I said, with his power, that air can push out of his like body, so he can basically, he doesn't need to wind up a punch, he can just do it instantly, and he's basically like the world's fastest, and like well, not really the hardest, but just like he's kind of like a parkourist that also punches like super fast. Then Frost Knight can basically slow people down with his ice and like build ice weapons and ice structures, and then slice them into pieces with a sword. So you can tell everyone has like their own little thing, even though they have things in common. Everyone has like their own specialty, right? So that would play a big role in this game, because like you have to. It's, well, think about like character design. You need a reason to pick one character over another one. You can't, in a video game, you can't just make two playable characters and then just make one character a worse version of the other one. So everyone, so of course there would be weaker and stronger characters, but if everything goes well, like obviously there will be some mistakes sometimes, but if this were an actual game, there would be characters, everyone would have like their own little reason to be picked out of the roster, their own like unique fighting style or whatever. And so every character would have some sense of direction of like, why would you want to pick that one? Oh, this one can do this one can do that. So every character would be a pretty interesting option. And I think, well, per element you would have a bunch of characters to basically pick out. So you'd have a lot of choice. It'd be pretty cool. And oh yeah, also real quick, go to the link in the description to support me on Patreon. So yeah, you would work together in teams of 5, and then you would have to basically attack each other, the other teams. And it's kind of like the last man standing, the last team standing wins. But I'm not sure how I would do this yet. Maybe it could kind of be like a battle royale, in the sense that you don't respawn, or maybe you do. But if you don't respawn, I would at least make some kind of function where maybe your team comes back, or you come back as a ghost, and you can still like help your team, or your team can like help other teams once you're fully wiped out. Because the one thing I definitely hate about other battle royale games, like maybe Fortnite or something, because I remember like playing a few matches of Fortnite in my whole life, is that if you die, you don't respawn, and then you just have to wait for the next match, so it'd be really boring. So I would maybe find some kind of system where you respawn as a ghost, and you can maybe do something interesting in the match to still like get XP and points or whatever. And yeah, so you basically, all the teams would go up against each other, and you would all use your character's unique moves and attacks, kind of like in Skylanders or whatever, your special like attacks and stuff, to face off against each other. And by the end, there wouldn't be much of a story, by the way, for this games. As far as I'm concerned, maybe there would be like some separate story game mode, but for now this is the main stuff. At the end, the last team surviving, maybe in the beginning of the match there would be like a cutscene where a meteorite falls down at the middle of the island, and there would be like a big magic crystal or something. That's an idea I had, but I'm not sure yet. Maybe at the end you would have to go to like the big crystal on the middle of the map that mysteriously landed on Earth or something. And when your team touches it, you all turn together into one of the elemental titans. Which, if you forgot, the elemental titans are like kind of like these big like elemental, well, monsters or titans that are like hidden at the cores of every planet in Celestials. And like I said, in the ending of Celestials, Inferno has to like gather all the, basically like the elemental powers from every planet to take them away from Feratu, so he can't use the power of like the magic staff at the center of the earth, like I discussed in the previous video. And Wait, what was I saying about it? Yeah, okay. So basically, they would turn into one of the elemental titans, and then maybe you could. I'm not sure how I would do it. Maybe every person in the team could maybe do something useful and control the final boss in their own way. Or maybe one person just does it or something, like the best player in the team, the MVP, controls the character all on his own. But I thought this would be a cool idea because then at the end you would have like a cool little boss fight, and maybe like everyone would get revived at the end or something, and they would all have to fight like an elemental titan as a cool like boss fight at the end of every match or something. So yeah, pretty cool. I also had an idea. Maybe there would be like a villain update or something, where basically villains would become playable characters, but maybe like in a separate game mode or something. I'm not exactly sure. Or maybe villains could actually just play against heroes in a normal match, but then they would be in separate groups in the sense that heroes of the same element can be together in one team, but heroes and villains can be together in the same team, but villains of the same of separate elements can be in the same team. So it's like basically heroes against villains or whatever. And I think I would make some kind of function. So we have to remember there would be this huge interactive map with like villages and structures and cool like elemental benefits and stuff. I think I would maybe make some kind of way that villains would also get like an advantage. Maybe there would be, because in the lore the villains stay kind of like underground to keep put away from the heroes so they don't get their skulls bashed in. So maybe the villains could like go in underground tunnels or something, which would actually be really cool if you ask me. And they could like hide around the map and stuff or something. Maybe leave a suggestion in the comments. But I thought they could have some kind of tunnel system that they can go through maybe. And for the rest, I'm thinking, what else would there be? Yeah, so like I said, there would be different maps. Maybe like maps from the villains in the show, like for example how I mentioned Moloch from the previous video, how in the end he would like turn the sky red, and it would be like become, he would kind of leak hell into earth, like on the battlefield, and it would kind of become like a hellish area. I thought that would look really cool, so I'd probably just take cool areas from Celestials the show, if this was an actual thing, and just put them into the game and like adapt them to make them like interactive and stuff. Kind of like in Dead by Daylight, how they take like a map from a crossover movie and they make it like all interactable with like pallets and generators and windows and cool Easter eggs, but like much more things and structures. So maybe there would be like a cool hellish map or something, or like a cool what else would there be? Maybe like a cool map depending on an element, like some kind of nature elemental like map, maybe like a jungle or something. Or what I could do is also just incorporate like some kind of Minecraft biomes with like the elements in the first most important map, where like around the island with like the village, you would maybe have some tinier other islands with like other biomes to make it interesting. And wait, I'm also thinking the game would probably also have events, and they would kind of give off a similar vibe as like Dead by Daylight events, in the sense that the game would also have their own made-up events. I actually had an idea where you would have an event where you'd have like fusion crystals, kind of like in Dragon Ball, where two characters can fuse together, but with like a magic crystal that they hold together, and then you have to like pick a dominant side, well, like which character mixes the most with the other one, and then maybe you could like have these new mixed up characters to play as. That would be maybe like the that would maybe called like the funky fusion event or something. But then there would also be seasonal events like a Christmas event, or like an Easter event. And Dead by Daylight does this very well in the sense of creating like the holly jolly atmosphere, even though it's a horror game. And I would probably do the same with Celestials, in the sense that you would really feel the Christmas vibe if there was a Christmas event. There would be wait, where did I begin? So I'm not sure how you would do this. If Celestials Eden of Elements was an actual game, maybe you would have to pay some money upfront first, and then you wouldn't have to pay for much micro transactions later. Maybe a lot of the skins and characters you could unlock by doing a challenge or something. Well, we'll see about that if this has to be an actual game after all. This is just a little concept I made. And so maybe you would be able to like unlock cool skins for every, well, let's just focus on the Christmas event for now. Say there's a Christmas event, you'd probably be able to unlock some cool skins with like doing one challenge per character or something for every skin. You would be able to unlock cool Christmas skins. Maybe you'd have like the skins would mostly focus on the main characters, but then side characters would also get skins. And then maybe like the map would be covered in snow or something, as long as it's not too much work, but because you have to focus on the essential things. Like what I probably wouldn't do is like Dead by Daylight, where they change the entire UI, like the way the buttons and the stuff look, to like a Christmas theme, because that just seems like a lot of unnecessary work. I would maybe like cover the map in snow, or maybe make like some new snowy map. And what I would especially, my bad, sorry. What I would especially do is outside of giving characters skins, is maybe like Dead by Daylight with the snowballs, make like a bunch of new interactable things on the map for like Christmas. Maybe there will be like a Christmas tree. You'll be able to throw snowballs, go on like ice skate roads or something. And you can imagine every event would like bring something really like refreshing to the game. Like, could you imagine this game existed and it's like a team of 5 game where you all fight against each other in teams? Then the Christmas event drops. Now suddenly there's like ice skate roads around the map where you can like skate on. There's like a big Christmas tree which you can get presents from, and in the presents is like a bomb or something that you can use. Maybe the map is like covered in snow and you see like the northern lights. Maybe Santa becomes like a playable character or something. Inferno gets like a cool skin with like a Christmas hat, and he's like, well, he's already red, but maybe like he has like some kind of Christmas theme extra going on the suit. Maybe you can like throw snowballs, or you can there maybe be released like a new Christmas themed character, like a watered elements character, like a snowman or something. Like, you could imagine events would bring a lot of like refreshments to the game, and then outside of events there would still be a lot of cool updates, new characters. And just the game would be very interesting. I really want to put the emphasis on the map being very interactable, because I think that this would be very fun for the game, where you have a lot of like cool things to do on the map. Maybe, this is a big stretch, maybe you could even do like a tiny side quest with like an NPC whilst you're on the map, to like unlock like a challenge or something to get a skin, but that's a bit of a stretch, I think. I'm also thinking. Wait, there was something else I wanted to say, but I kind of forgot. I'm not sure what that last thing was I was thinking about. Um, hmm. Oh yeah, maybe there would also be a function, by the way, to bundle attacks or something, because the characters would rely a lot on team focus, in the sense that wait, I've got another thing I want to talk about as well before I forget. But like, say I have an air character that's like a bird, and I have an air character that's like a guy with arrows. They would work as separate characters, but maybe every character would have like a unique team player move. Like, maybe the guy with the arrows can hop on top of the bird, and then he can fly in the sky together, and you would have to like work together as a team, and you can shoot people from the sky. So you would be able to bundle attacks, like maybe in the literal sense of like there would be like a special attack that is coded to like combine with other attacks, or maybe in the more figurative sense, that like if for example you just have all your attacks and you just play it smart, and you just like combine you do like throw a fire attack at at an enemy whilst also throwing an ice attack at him, so he like freezes up and then burns immediately. But it would be a lot of work to like code it so that you can literally like combine attacks so that they make something new, like interactive or something, that you get some kind of new special attack. So I think maybe just comboing, in the sense of like doing 2 attacks together, and then it just does a lot of damage or something. We'll see about that. And for updates, we would, well, if this is all just a concept, like I said, but I'm just very passionate about this. If updates were like an actual thing, there would be like new maps, new skins, and most of all, new character batch drops. So you wouldn't just release one character at a time, because, frankly, I don't think it would be that much work to release one character. I mean, you just create a few special attacks and stuff, and that's about it. So I think we would release batches of characters, maybe like 3 characters per new character release update, and maybe they would all be the same element, or maybe they would all have something like a theme going on, like maybe all swordsmen, maybe all guys with guns or something, or just characters in general that I just felt I wanted to add at that time at the game. And wait, was there something else? Oh yeah, by the way, the way this would practically work is I think maybe every character would have like three special attacks or something, like how the UI would be displayed on screen. So you would be in third person, and maybe here you would have like three buttons for three special attacks or something. And then for the rest, you would maybe just have like your basic stuff and your elemental benefits, or it could just work completely differently. I don't know. There would probably be emotes, but not like the gay Fortnite ones, just the funny ones and the cool ones. Because let's be honest, it would be hilarious to like hit a clip on some guy and then just like fucking hit a griddy or like do a backflip. So that would be hilarious. Oh, and by the way, before I forget, another interesting idea I had is Dead by Daylight bans modders. And I can understand why, but I feel like if Celestial's enough elements were an actual game, I would allow modding and maybe even make like some separate modding section, like button in the store or something, or like in the game mode section, where you could maybe like install community made mods while you're literally like in the game. Or it's kind of like in how Fortnite you have like the creator maps or something, I don't know, where you could do like custom things. You would maybe like be able to equip modded skins or something, or at least I would allow modding just in general, as long as it wouldn't like form a problem for the game or something. Because I know how fun it is to mod games. I never got the chance to to mod Dead by Daylight, and you can still find old clips of people dressed up as Fortnite characters in Dead by Daylight hitting the griddy when they flashlight blind the killers, and it would just be really cool. So I would allow modding in the game as far as it's not like interrupting the game flow or whatever. So, do I have anything more to talk about? Let me just think for a second. No, I think that's pretty much everything. Um, hmm. Yeah, that's about it, pretty much. So, I really like this idea. If you couldn't tell, my mom is sleeping, so I'm not being too loud, but I was very hyped about this idea. And I don't know, it just seems like such a cool idea to be like to have like a video game where you can play in third person as like Inferno with like his buddies or with like other characters in a team of five. You can hop online with your friends and you can like start just beating the shit out of the other teams with like your cool elemental powers. You can do like cool stuff on the map. Then like a Christmas event drops, and now you can like ice skate around and drop snowballs on everyone's head. Then you get like a bunch of new skins, new characters drop, and it just seems so cool to like use all those special attacks, and like every character has their own like cool thing. So I don't know, I really like this idea. Um, yeah, let me know if you liked it as well. Maybe leave some suggestions in the comments or something. Yep. Here we go. Yeah, I really like to make this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye, bitch.